I started my career as an accountant, and which I thoroughly enjoyed. But I reached a stage where I just knew accountancy wasn't quite what I was after for the long term, and that's why I started to get involved with wider business education. Eventually, ending up at Henley, which was lovely to do a couple of programs, which led into the Henley MBA a long time ago. Um, and one thing I've certainly found with Henley is that it has a space which I've not found in many other places, where you've got that reflective time for thinking. The one thing, particularly if you go to Greenland at any time, is that it's just lovely to be able to walk along the lawn by the river and consider what your ambition from a work uh, point of view is, but also share time with other members of the program and discuss things through, listen to people from a very different angle, and in many cases people from different countries, so there's a very different view of what their world of work is compared with my own world of work. And for me, that was a big benefit of Henley. It was just that sharing, the caring, the academic rigor, the time spent away from the workplace, focusing on something which was really important for my own development, my own career development. And that in itself started to take me away from my world of finance and totally into a new direction. I moved into HR. From HR, I moved into operational work, operations, project management, and then into internal consultants, and eventually leaving by choice a large organisation to go freelance just over 20 years ago. Yeah, for me, the Henley community is just a fantastic group of people stretching worldwide who are just well, they're just brilliant to engage with. I frequently go back to Henley. I've attended pretty much all of the master classes since they started. I do go back typically at least once a year onto to Henley campus, just to have some time to reflect on my career to date, what I'd like to do moving forward, spend some time with some of the academics, some of the teaching staff, some of the support staff, who are just all awesome. And particularly spending time with other fellow alumni, which has just been one of the magic moments for me of Henley. I always think, and it's something I've talked about a number of times regarding Greenland, is that there's a cattle grid when you arrive. And for me, when I rumble across that cattle grid, it sort of leaves the world of business and of home behind, and places in front of me the opportunity to take some really special time away, so I can actually think about what my next steps of my world of work is, and particularly spending some time with lovely people, different people from different parts of the world, doing very different roles, different stages of their career, and just share that. So that for me is one of those really special things relating to Henley, which meant that I want to become more involved with the community. And from a donor point of view, I've been a donor for quite some years. And I think there's two aspects to leaving a legacy, as it were. One is the sort of the legacy that you leave when sadly you're no longer around. But there's an opportunity of leaving what I call, and I think other people call it, a living legacy. So you can actually put some money into something and start to see the benefit of that while you're still around, supporting other people. And I remember our very first uh, student who was sponsored through our donorship, meeting her and what she was up to, and hearing about her life and the way Henley had made a big difference to her, and then seeing her career blossom post Henley, was just a real magic moment, I think, both for me and for many other people who were involved with that. So for me, being a part of Henley and as a donor is a really important part of giving something, I would say something back, because I'd like to think I didn't take too much out, but giving something into an organisation which is a unique business school, unique place, and it has that new unique opportunity to reach out to help other people in a way which gives the power to both Henley the brand and also the ability for students to do something really special with their lives. The question is fascinating about what I wish I'd known when I first started out. I think too often many people think about it maybe more about strategy, more about IT or marketing or something that's a very strong business skill. The reality for me was it's more about myself. I wish I'd known more about myself. And interestingly, 15 years ago, I learned a huge amount about myself, so much so that I decided to actually start to specialize in personality psychology. And I do personality profiling work. And with the instrument I use, we talk about what we call the psychological footprint, the focus of where we are. The way I refer to that is the comfort zone. But true development happens in the space beyond that, which is called the stretch zone. And beyond the stretch zone, you've got the panic zone. And obviously, we don't want to go there too often. But for me, it's actually getting into that space of the stretch zone. So stretching myself into ways where I'd not thought about going before, because too often it's so easy to stay in the comfort zone, which means that we don't really push ourselves. So I'd just like to feel that jitter of feeling just outside the comfort zone, working on something different, continuing my education in a different way. And truthfully, that's where Henley's come in, because it's always pushed me in different directions, doing things which I'd not done before. So coming back to it, I wish I'd known more about myself. That is, to me, is the key business skill. And that's what I now spend a lot of my time working with teams, senior people, helping them to develop their understanding of self so that they become a better performer and a much higher performing team.